My name is Marilyn Gartelmann Quiroz, and we're at home in historic Pullman on the south side of Chicago. Big Al and I have been lucky enough to travel to many places, but one of our most favorite places to visit over the past 50 years is Mexico. Back in 1965, a year after we got married, we traveled to Mexico, and I'll never forget it. My in-laws, Elena and Felix Quiroz, moved back there in 1959, and we always tried to visit them as much as we could. We started our trip by going to Zamora, a small town in the state of Michoacan, where Al's family is from. Zamora was definitely different from Chicago. Once we even saw two young men pushing a cart to the butcher shop with carcasses of dead bulls down the street. In anticipation of our arrival, Pa would raise a couple of pigs in the pig pen in the back of the house and would slaughter them for a celebration with the entire family. Ma had a small area to cook in the rear of the house, and she'd use that area if she was cooking with grease so it wouldn't mess up her kitchen. They would invite the whole family over for a big meal and even some dancing.
Sweet, sweet memories you gave me, you can't beat.
There was nothing like sitting on the roof together and watching the Mexican sun go down. It was really breathtaking.
The memories you gave me.
I had one stolen night of bliss.
You can't beat the memories you gave me.
One girl, one boy, some grief, some joy. Memories are made of this.
Ma and Pa lived across from a huge church, and we'd always hear the bells tolling in the morning. That was our wake-up call. On Sundays, the whole family would go to Cumecuaro, where there was a small lake, and people would picnic there and listen to the mariachis and dance. Everyone was there, even Al's maternal grandparents, Francisco and Maria Rodriguez. And all of the aunts, uncles, and cousins. It was great. We always stopped at the Marqueta to do a little shopping. Al would even get a close shave and have his shoes shine there. At Ma's parents' house down the block, they had an assortment of animals in the back of their home. They had cats, dogs, chickens, pigeons, a couple of cows and horses, and even some turkeys. I've always had respect for farmers and laborers that worked in the fields. However, it was certainly not something that I am accustomed to. In a moment of weakness, when we were visiting Samara back in 1965, Big L talked me into climbing a huge mountain in Samara. The name of that was the Viata. I'll never forget it. It was 4 miles to the top. It was a rugged terrain and very, very hot, and believe me, I wasn't happy. They had to pull me up with a broomstick because I was so tired. I was not having any of this. That will never, ever happen again. Not happening, hashtag never again. When we finally reached the top, they made a little campfire and made some tacos for us for lunch. And then we painted our names on the rocks up there, which was a custom for people visiting. That was fun. But then there was the trip back down the mountain. I was looking for the escalator, like the kind that they have at the Horseshoe Casino in Hammond, Indiana. No such luck. Over the years, we'd also tried to spend some time in Mexico City, Guadalajara, or my favorite, Acapulco, for a couple of days. There was nothing like the Caleta Hotel in Acapulco. We have a lot of good memories there.
We just arrived and
Big Al and Nino recently took a trip to Mexico and visited some of the old sites in Guadalajara, Zamora, and even Acapulco. There's Ma and Pa's house. Still looks the same after all these years. And there's the church across from their house with the bell tower that would wake us up every morning. And looky here. There's the Caleta Hotel on top of the rocks at Caleta Bay in Acapulco. Her glory is a little bit faded, but she's just as majestic as she was back in 1964.
there's where I found that German bracelet right here.
Pa died in 1982 and Ma died in 1997. They are buried underneath the altar at a cathedral in Zamora.
Read it to me.
He was born in 1893 and died in 1982.
I was very lucky to have fantastic in-laws who were so wonderful to me, and I always think of them fondly. We've been very lucky to get a chance to travel to many places, but there will always be a special place in my heart for Mexico. Viva Mexico!